So today we have a guest on the stream. Let me switch it over so you can see him. There we go. And we're going to be playing some TAQS. So James was on deck for playing some TAQS, and I wanted to make sure that he could get in before we move on to anybody else. So we have the stock market up on the screen because James has not joined in yet, but we are going to get that moving. So I'll add his name in here, and you are somewhat familiar with this season. I know you said you had voted a couple times, so you will know that we have a new contender on the block, the number 12. So the thing that's different this season is you actually have even Stevens amount of money when you jump in to start out with. So you are going to have 81,200 to start with because the market has actually gone significantly down since we started the season. So that means that you're coming in at the market average of 81,200. So going over to the current values of the stock market, red is at a current value of 35. Yellow is at a current value of 116. Green is at a current value of 79. Blue is at a surprising current value of 63. And 12 is at a value of 113. So those are the values to keep in mind. And you can distribute your Jonos however you please.
I'd like to buy 12 12s.
You're going to buy 12 12s. Alright.
Yes, I'm sure that's original.
113. Okay, that's not going to be too much of your money, but...
And then I like to split up as like 50% of the money I have into blues and 50% of the money I have into reds.
Okay, so let's see how much you have left over after you get the 12s. Minus 130, 1356. That is going to give you 79,844 left over to split up. So you said you wanted to go half blue, half, what was the other one?
Reds.
Okay, so if we split that in half, and then that's 39,922 devoted towards each individual color. So you do have a smaller amount of money than the people who started right at the beginning have, but you are coming in with these cheaper prices, so it should even out nicely. So if we divide that by red's value of 35, that will allow you to get 1,140 of red with some change left over, and we'll figure out what you want to do with the change afterwards. And if we divide this by the current value of blue, which is 63, that gives you 633 blue stock, and you do have a little bit left over. You have 865 left over to spend. Oh, sorry. You only have 65 left over to spend. I forgot that it was 81,200. So you could potentially get one more blue, or one more red. If
I'll go one more blue.
Okay, so you are going to have 634 blue, and you should have 2 Jonos left over in your bank, which is about as close to evenly paying or spending all of your money as you possibly could right now. So that looks pretty good to me. The last thing that we need to do is on the contestants page, I have a graph of everybody and how they're doing right now compared to previously in the season. So what I'm going to allow you to do is you can choose the color that you want your line to be on the graph. Now, you didn't place in the top three. I was saying that people who earned more than their starting value in the beginning of, people who broke 100,000 by the end of the season, for season one, got to have a thicker line on the graph. I'm pretty sure that you were not in that party, if I remember correctly.
Probably not.
But I will double check that when we're off stream. But for now, what color do you want your line to be?
Is orange available?
Yes.
I will take orange.
Do you want like a bright orange or like a burnt orange?
Bright orange.
You're gonna go bright orange? Okay. So let me get this. And you are a bright orange. So I will get that set up in the off time of the stream. But for now, we are going to be playing TAQS. So I'm going to close out of that. We'll go to the TAQS Excel sheet. And let me quickly just check to make sure that that is showing correctly. And it is. So, as we left off in the previous episode, sorry, my phone is going crazy, and it's nothing important. So, we left off in the last episode. You had settled down at your nice little hut in the forest. Now, there has been some interesting changes of events since then, due to the fact that this is a ongoing timeline, even though there is people playing at different times. Some stuff has happened in between the episodes for James, so we will go over what has happened. Now, James is waking up in the morning to find that he is in the ashy ruins of a well-crafted hut. And he is still in the forest where he was left off after having spent many days foraging around the forest and doing whatever Macnickles do. But there was some interesting changes in his current inventory. He no longer has the torch or the staff that he had in his inventory, and he is now temporarily down to about 5 health, as he is healing from a onslaught of attacks from some familiar assailants. So that is the current situation, and you can do how you please in order to remedy the situation or to go about your normal business.
Is anything on myself broken? Like, do I have any broken bones or anything like that? Do I need to craft any casts or whatever?
No, I think the way we're playing it is health is just kind of general. It's not necessarily like a specific injury.
Right.
I try to make things less complicated if necessary, if I can.
Well, I'm gonna look around and see if there are any clues as to who my assailants were.
All right, hold on. Let me take that back. So you look around. I got a syntax error on my calculator. That's always great. And you see that there is some you see that the fire has taken down most of the structure of your small hut. That means that there isn't necessarily significant evidence of... Hold on. I don't want my pocket vibrating the entire time. there isn't necessarily evidence of the actual scuffle that happened, but you were cognizant of the fight, and you were able to make out that there was one large figure and one smaller stone-like figure that was involved in the battle.
Darn rock people. Are there, because I'm assuming it's very ashy from the fire, are there any footprints moving away?
So
Like
you
ash or charcoal.
You have been out for a few days, but you do notice that there is some signs of possible exit from the building. There is some scrapes along the trees, assuming a somewhat hasty retreat from the village and from the hut, and there is a marking on the shoreline of the river that shows that there was some sort of water vessel that was recently docked on the shore.
Now, just to recap, before I ended on last, I was heading towards like a mountain or something, right?
Yes, so I'll pull the map up for the people watching, but yeah, so you were walking upwards through the forest with the vision of a mountain in the north. So I'll open up that just so I have a point of reference. But yes, that was your goal at the time. Where's world map? There we go. There we go. So yes, you are about, I believe I wrote in the Excel sheet, you were 2/5 of the way up, the way to the mountains. And you had heard that the mountains have a tribe of people.
No, that's right. I ran into somebody who was talking to me about it.
I think you ran into the sibling of, or sorry, like a family member of the woman you slaughtered.
That's right. Yeah, her, like granddaughter or something. No regrets. All right. Well, I guess this is karma. Okay, I'm gonna miss that quarterstaff. So I guess I'll keep heading. If I'm in any condition to move, I'll start heading towards the mountain.
Okay. So you begin walking up towards the mountains. It is relatively early in the day, so you don't have much trouble. And in the ease of walking, you do regain some health over time. You now have about 2/3 of your health, which would give you, I believe, that would be 12 health. So you're only down 5 now. And I should also mention, I believe you received some skills from your past episode. I'll just go through your stats real quick. Your health is at 17. Your attack is at 8. I don't believe any of those went up. Defense is at 15. Luck is at 5. Your charisma is at 2, which that might have gone up. Your agility is at 5. Your craftsmanship is still at 35. Your awareness is at 10. Your strength is at 10, and your magic is still at 0. So you have made significant progress throughout the day towards the mountains, and you can now see the foots of the base of the mountain right on the horizon of a small prairie that is just in front of you. I'm gonna edit the map while I'm talking here. So yeah,
All right. What time of day is it?
It is now about mid-afternoon as you walk through the middle of the prairie.
Do I notice anything peculiar?
Yeah. Do you have your mic muffled or something? It's a little quiet on my end.
Is that better?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still, I can still hear you fine. I just didn't know if there was anything blocking it or not.
I'll just try to get closer.
Yeah, that'll probably work. Okay, so you look around the prairie, but it seems to be relatively empty, and you don't find anything of use. It's just grass and open spaces.
All right, I'll keep heading towards the mountain then.
Okay. So you continue towards the mountain. Nothing out of the ordinary happens. It's a relatively clear day. As you approach the base of the mountain, you do the light begins to fade over the hills, and you are now entering the nighttime as you hit the feet of the mountains.
All right. Well, I don't want to make the trek up the mountain at night, seeing as I lost my torches.
Mm.
So
You do still have a lamp.
I do. Yeah, but it's cracked, and I don't want to do more damage to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I will. I'll make a camp for the night, and this time I'm going to set up traps around myself. So
Okay.
I'd like to use my craftsmanship to do that.
Yeah. So you successfully set up a small camp. Nothing too extravagant, but it is nice and cozy. And you do set up a couple traps around the area, whether they be pitfalls or elaborate net traps, or actually you don't have anything you can make a net out of, so probably not that. But you do dig a couple holes with pitfalls, and you secure the area relatively safely. So you sleep out the night, and in your well-constructed camp, you are able to regain all of the health that you have lost back to full health of 17. You now awake on the next day, and you are still at the feet of the mountains.
Did I catch like any wild animals or anything in any of my traps?
You look around in your traps, and you find a small bunny in one of the holes. It seems to be unharmed but unable to escape the hole without any help.
I'd like to go ahead and kill the bunny and skin it.
Okay. So, you, well, I guess you're gonna attack the bunny then, so,
I'm going to attack the bunny.
yeah, you got this battle sequence with this small woodland creature. Let's go. The dog seems to be wanting to come in. I think there's someone lighting off some extra fireworks from 4th of July.
Maybe she heard that I was attacking a small bunny, and she was worried that it was her.
So let's see how this goes. We got some quick drawing. Alright. And then we got Macnickle over here. Alright. And then we need some stats. So Macnickle's got H17.
I'm also using my small dagger to attack it.
8. Yes. D, I believe 15. L5. Yeah. And then. Alright. So that is going to be. Then. Alright, So you are attacking with your dagger. So that gives you, I believe I have it down as 2 extra attack. So I will keep that in mind. We'll add that to your 8 to bring it up to a nice even 10. Now the rabbit is in a trap, so it is relatively slowed from its ability to run away, but you are beginning the battle sequence, so it is your turn first.
I'd like to attack with all 10.
Alright, so you're going to attack with all 10. Um, would you like to use any luck with that, or are you just attacking with the 10?
Yeah, I'll use my 5 luck as well.
Okay. So you attack with the 10. You roll a perfect 10 and are able to completely lower the small bunny's defenses and deal 2 health to the bunny overall. But it seems to be somewhat resilient, and it prepares for a attack back. It attacks with a surprisingly strong blow, dealing 8 damage to your defenses, bringing them down to 7. But you are currently unharmed due to your relatively high defense, and it is your turn again. Remember that you do not have your attack or luck at your disposal in this turn.
Are there any rocks around me?
You look around and find that the entire area surrounding you is filled with medium-sized rocks due to the mountainous terrain.
I would like to use my strength to pick up a rock and try to drop it down so it has less, so the rabbit has less room to move. So I'm assuming I can't use the rock to attack because I'm out of attack.
Okay, so you attempt to lift the rock, and you are successful in picking up a rock about 2/3 the size of the rabbit. You are able to hold on. You are able to drop the rock on the rabbit, and it is a relatively powerful blow, finishing off the health of the rabbit that it had. So now there is a somewhat squished rabbit at the bottom of a hole.
Alright, I would like to skin it and see if I can salvage any of the meat and skin.
Alright. You do a rather botched job of the skinning, but you are able to acquire a small amount of meat, and you still have the fur at your disposal, but the actual skin is not necessarily in one whole piece.
Alright.
Alright, so I added the fur and the rabbit meat to your inventory. Oh, and I should remove these slots. I just put those in there as placeholders. So you currently have 3 spots available in your inventory.
Alright. Well, after my epic battle with the rabbit or the bunny, I would like to head up the mountain.
Okay, so we're gonna go grab the map. So you are beginning your journey up the mountain, and it is relatively early in the day, so that shouldn't be any problem. So you are beginning your journey up the mountain, and you are scaling relatively fine due to your decent agility. You begin to see that there is a ledge up above that seems large enough to hold what could be a possible settlement, and it is you are fast approaching on the ledge.
Let's see, can I reach the ledge?
Yeah, yeah, you could continue climbing if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to approach a little warily, so in case like try to go unseen.
What was that?
Try to be stealthy about approaching.
Okay. So you are approaching a small mountain area that seems to hold a decent amount of small huts. Staying on the outskirts, you notice that there is a small cluster of huts out to your left as you're approaching up the face of the mountain. So this is kind of in the middle of the actual ledge itself. Um, and there seems to be some larger huts, or one larger hut to be exact, over to your right. In the middle seems to be what would be some sort of recreational camp area, with some sitting fixtures and what seems to be a fire pit. And as I said, you are on the outskirts.
I'll walk in towards the fire pit.
Okay. So you are moving in towards the fire pit. Hold on, I'm just trying to get the drawing up to par so that it makes more sense. Okay, so you move in towards the fire pit, and you are relatively successful in keeping your stealth. So you have no trouble making your way over to the fire pit without being noticed by any of the possible residents at the moment.
All right. Are there any wooden logs around?
You look around, and you do notice that the seating fixtures themselves are actually halved wooden logs, and there is a small pile of some possible firewood next to the fire pit, but nothing in terms of full logs.
All right, and remind me again, why am I here at the Why did I go up the mountain? I can't remember from last
I
time.
think you were just exploring in general.
All right. I'm trying to decide if I want to like make a big commotion. Or all right, is there like a main hut anywhere?
So there's a cluster of smaller huts to your left, and to the right there is one larger hut.
I'd like to go knock on the larger hut's door.
Okay, so you knock on the door, and it comes across as not offensive at all. It is relatively early in the morning, so this is not some inconvenient time. You knock on the door, and it seems that there is some commotion inside, and a relatively middle-aged male figure approaches the door, but hesitantly opens the door to see who is knocking.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
The person seems to be confused by your stature and appearance, and is hesitant to reply to casual talk.
Is it because I can't remember? Am I clothes or am I naked right now?
I mean, you're a lizard, so I don't think that you being naked looks too out of the ordinary, but you don't necessarily have anything on, no.
All right. I'm a traveler from that way. Point the way I came back.
He notices that you are pointing towards the village of Onageberg, and seems to be cognizant of the location that you are speaking of. He he beckons you to enter the hut to continue the conversation.
y'all need any help with anything, I'm pretty good with crafting stuff or going on fun adventures.
Um, he takes your request and begins to think of what might be something that you could help out with. He then mentions that there have been some new additions uh, to the village tribe, and he mentions that they will be needing some housing fixtures in the near future. If you are interested in uh, doing any hard labor.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay, so he mentions that you will be accommodated for your work, although they are a relatively small tribe, so um, payment will not be as substantial as um, maybe the going rate for building a house, I guess. Uh,
Oh, that's fun.
okay, so you continue your conversation with the supposed tribe's leader due to assuming from stature of building, um, and you are shown the location that the new hut is to be made. Um, with the supplies provided to you, you successfully make a hut that is well up to the standards of the other huts in the village, and you are graciously rewarded with uh, 20 gold pieces and a pheasant.
All right, so that should put me at 34 gold pieces,
Yep.
right? Um, I tell him thank you for the money, uh, and also, if he has seen any like sketchy people walking by, like a rock person and a rather large person, and I explain how I got attacked.
Okay, so you ask the man if he has seen any interesting figures of that description, and he replies that he has not seen any that would match the description, but he will definitely be letting you know if you are to meet again in the future.
I Could I ask if he has any weapons to sell?
All right. You ask the man if he has any weapons to sell, and he says that the tribe tends to have a stock of spears available. If you would like to purchase any of the current overstock, he shows you to a small storage container behind his larger hut that is filled with some medium length spheres, maybe about 4 feet, with a decently crafted stone tip as the spear point.
All right, what are you charging for these?
Um, he is gracious for your for the help that you have given them, but he does mention that the spears are not too easy to come by in terms of the village people. So he says that these spears would be about 15 gold each.
What about 12 coins and the small bunny meat?
Um, he seems to be gracious towards your negotiation, and he accepts the rabbit meat uh, as collateral for the 3 missing coins that you have chosen to negotiate away.
All right.
So that brings you down to 22 gold, and you no longer have the rabbit meat. But you do now have a spear. So this spear, because of its slender nature and length, gives you a small. Oh, what was that? Oh, I was keeping track of what things do over here. That's probably good to remember. Um, it gives you a small agility buff in a fighting sequence due to the fact that you can reach further. So you actually get +2 agility, and you will get, let's see how much attack you are going to get, a +3 attack. Wow.
Is this one-handed or two-handed spear?
So it's about 4 foot long, but I mean spears in general aren't too heavy, so you have the strength that you could wield it with one hand if necessary.
All right. Do they have any armor for sale?
You ask the man if he has any armor for sale. He mentions that they are relatively undisturbed people, so they do not have any tough, heavy armor, but they do have some linens available if you were just looking for coverage that may provide some protection from various natural occurrences.
No, in that case, I'll just go au naturel.
Okay. He seems somewhat offended by your neglect of clothing, but he is still gracious of your help with the village, so he lets it pass his mind.
All right. I'll ask if there's anything else he needs my help with.
He seems to be somewhat taken back from the original clothing situation, and he says that he thinks that everything is in order for now.
All right, and then in that case, I'll take my leave. Could he tell me where the next village is, or the closest village?
You ask him for directions to the next village, and he mentions that this is the first village on this mountain, but on the back side, slightly further up the mountain, there is another larger village that is somewhat related to the people of this small ledge village.
All right, I'll head that way.
Okay. I'm gonna save this off as okay. And so now you are traversing the mountain. It is getting in relatively late into the day, but you still have a little bit of daylight available, and so now you are moving your way around the mountain to the rear side. You are having a little bit harder of a journey, and you are not able to make it all the way to the next village before it begins getting dark.
All right, I'll set up camp. Is there enough of this bunny skin for me to make like a loincloth or something?
So you do have a lot of fur. It's not necessarily in one piece per se, so there may be some holes here and there, but you, with your craftsmanship, you should be able to whip something up in terms of
coverage. That into
coverage.
some sort of clothing.
All right, is that what you want to do?
Yep.
Okay, so you fashion yourself a small loincloth. I guess that would be on your legs. Rabbit loincloth. That kind of makes it sound like it's made from the rabbit's loins. That'd be weird. But you gain one extra defense point from this loincloth. And you said you were setting up camp? That we...
Yeah, and I'd like to set up traps.
Okay.
And I would also like to use some of the pheasant meat as bait in some of the traps.
Okay, so you set up some traps, whether it be making some small holes into the mountainside or setting up some propped up rocks with some sticks. And you bait the traps with the pheasant meat, so that is now no longer. Oh, you say you want to use just like some of it or all of it?
Some of it.
Okay, so you just have like some pheasant meat. I'm just gonna say some meat. So you bait the traps with the pheasant meat, and you make a very nice camp with a very comfortable bedding fixture and nice coverage from the weather on the mountainside. So you wait out the night, and in the morning, you are feeling very rested. You have a positive 3 health buff for the time being, and a 2 extra agility for today, due to the extravagance of your camp. You go to check your traps, and you do find that there is something in the traps. It is what seems to be a mountain lion that has fallen into one of the holes in an attempt to get the pheasant meat.
I want to attack the mountain lion with my spear.
Okay, so let me save that off. New. So you have this hole, and you are standing up here, and so you do have some extra health to work with. So your health is up to 20. Your attack is with the spear. Your attack is 11. Your defense is, I believe it was 15. Yes, it is 15. Oh no, so it's 16 because of the loincloth. Your luck is 5, and your agility has been boosted up to 7, just for my purposes. So the mountain lion does seem to be trapped in the trap. That is what traps do. But it does seem to be well attentive and cognizant of the situation. Hold on, I'm drawing a very bad picture of a mountain lion. Kind of looks like a weird pig.
I really need to start putting sharpened stakes in these pits so they get damaged when they fall in.
What was that?
I really need to put sharpened stakes at the bottom so they get damaged.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the mountain lion is aware of its situation, but once again, due to the fact that it is in a trap, it does not have the ability to attack first. So you will have the chance to attack. Hold on, I'm just getting some stats in order. Okay. So
Alright.
it is your turn first.
In my inventory, I have listed that I have some berries that give me an attack boost and an agility boost. Do you have that as well?
What was that?
In my inventory, do you see that I have some berries?
Yes.
I'd like to have some of those berries. They give an attack and agility boost, right?
I have them labeled as poisonous.
Never mind. Never mind. I'm going to change that in my. Okay. So I'll go ahead and attack with all my attack and luck with my spear.
Okay. So you got your spear there. I could probably draw that in the picture. Alright, so you are attacking with your 11 attack and your 5 luck. You are able to, you roll a 7, dealing all of the defense of the mountain lion, but at the moment you have done no damage to the mountain lion's health. The mountain lion springs forward in its first attempt to strike you down, dealing a heavy blow of 14 to your defenses, bringing them down to 2. But as in the case of the mountain lion, you have not taken any damage to your health.
Okay, because I'm out of attack, I will back away a little. I'm trying to put some distance between myself and the mountain lion because I have a longer reach.
Okay, so you take a strategic retreat. You are able to get somewhat further away from the mountain lion before it can make any attempts to move towards you. The mountain lion then makes an attempt to move out of the hole to get a better angle on you, and in the event of trying to do so, falls into the hole, dealing a small amount of damage to itself. So the mountain lion deals 2 damage to its health.
Alright, well, now that everything's back, right?
Oh yeah.
Now all my stats are back.
Yeah, you're. Yeah, I used agility for you to move away, so you couldn't do like a stunt or anything. But yeah, you can attack.
But I can move back in and use all my attack and luck again, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
Okay, so you're rolling all of your attack and all of your luck again?
Yep.
Okay. So you attack. I'm not sure. I got a weird thing pop up on my screen. You use all of your attack. You roll a perfect 11 with your attack, knocking all of the health of the mountain lion down and winning the battle.
I would like to try to skin it.
Okay. You surprisingly get nothing from the attempt of skinning. I kid you not, you rolled a 0 out of 35.
Wow. Alright, can I try to get any of the teeth?
Alright. You are successful in collecting a small handful of teeth and fangs from the mountain lion.
Alright. Can I harvest any of the meat from it?
You use your you probably use the dagger or something, but yeah, you use the dagger and you are able to get a large sum of meat, enough to actually fill 2 inventory slots in your bag.
Alright, does that put me over limit? Do I have to get rid of something?
No, that's exactly filling up your inventory.
Alright. that case, I'll have a breakfast of some of the rest of the pheasant. So I'll eat.
All right. So you eat the pheasant. Oh, by the way, in your scuffle with the mountain lion, your buffs have worn off, so you are now back down to your base level. But you didn't take any damage in the actual fight, so you should be fine. You eat the pheasant though, and you are able to gain a small buff in the same direction. So your health goes up by 1, and your agility also goes up by 1. So we are on 51 minutes right now. Do you want to wrap it up here? Or do you have some more little things you want to do before then?
No, I think that's good. I've eaten. Uh, I've filled my inventory.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, your inventory has one spot open now because you ate the pheasant. But yeah.
Oh, that's right. Then I'm good.
Okay.
I guess build a shelter
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So
put traps around it, so that in case some certain people come around.
you search around and you are able to craft a primitive lean-to structure. Well, actually, no. Actually, you still have the previous camp. You haven't moved.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So you're good. You got the really nice camp.
All right. And I'd
um,
just like to add on to my defenses around it.
okay. So you add on to the defenses. Does that mean you're adding spikes to the bottom of your holes?
I'm whittling some sticks with the knife and putting spikes at the bottom of the holes.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna rub some of the berries on the
That
spikes.
sounds pretty good to me. So you are guarding your place of residence. I will. I think that this is significant enough that it'll probably be on the map. So, um,
I mean, if it's nice enough they give me the bonuses, I might try to make a permanent residence here.
all right. Yeah. You rolled like a 34 out of 35 on craftsmanship when you built it. So,
All right.
I guess that's where we will sign off. I'll update the pictures and whatnot in the week to come before we have any more expansion on the story. But thank you for coming on, James. I will
Thank
get
you.
the stock market page updated so that you're added to the graph. If you want to support James in his investments, then you can go over to the stock market video that was put up on Thursday, and you can vote in the stock market accordingly. But other than that, we should have a cover on Tuesday. And until then, I will be signing off. So thank you and goodbye.